Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to do our first Dreadball game for the acceptable casualties. Tonight we have Planet Krumpatron taking on the Star City Techno Pimps in a 14 rush game. We'll be back in a second to go over the starting lineups. Here we have our starting lineup for Planet Krumpatron. Going down the line we have number 2, starting Jack Skittles McPherson. Next to him, we have number 3, Dr. Krumpenstein, right guard. Down here, we have number 7, Little Jimmy, center Jack. Next to him, we have Big Lenny. He's going to be our left guard. And then down here, we have number 10, Sweet Potato Jones. He's going to be our left Jack. And then team captain, holding down the back in defense, we have Crump Stofferson, number 1. We'll be back in a second to go over the Star City Techno Pimps starting lineup. Here we have our starting lineup for the Star City Techno Pimps. Starting down here on the right flank, we have number 2, Socrates Jackson, the starting Jack. In the middle, we have number 12, Lovejoy Huggington, playing center Jack. Over here on the left, we have Sweet Feet Lewis, number 6. Back down here, we have Strong Hands Murphy. He's going to be playing guard on the right flank. Over here on left flank, we have Mr. Simmons, number 5. And holding it down in the back, we have the lone striker on the table, team captain Adonis Gold III. So we'll be back in a second to go over the Rush 1 recap for the Planet Krumpatron team. They ended up winning the roll-off. I took visitors. So we'll be back in a second for Rush number 1. So we are back for Rush 1 here for the Planet Krumpatron, and things just did not go very well for us. We ended up pushing up over here with Dr. Krumpatron. We went in for a slam on the Jack right there. I rolled 5 dice. Vin only had 3 in return. I got 1 success. Vin got 2, so I ended up getting knocked over, but I passed my armor save back there, so that was pretty unfortunate. Up over here, we ended up having Big Lenny push up on the side over there. He was able to injure 1 Jack with his first hit with 2 turns, right? He's out for it. And then he moved up for a second action. He hit the guard and ended up injuring him for 1 turn. So Big Lenny ended up clearing out this whole side of the table, which opened things up down here for Little Jimmy. The ball ended up falling on the 3rd hex in the middle of the table. Went to go pick it up, and of course I had no successes. He fumbled it, and the ball scattered back, ending my rush. So the ball sitting here. Star City Techno Pimps are a little banged up, but you know, there's some room here to do some damage. So we'll be back in a second for Rush number 2 for the Techno Pimps. We are back for Rush number 2. In this one, Vin had an opportunity and slipped through his fingers. So Rush number 2 for Star City Techno Pimps. Down here, we had number 12. We got Lovejoy Huggington, ended up running up and hitting my guard in the back and took him down. I ended up passing my armor saves and kept him around. Up over here, we had Mr. Simmons. He ended up pushing his way up over here, but his first action, he moved up the middle, ended up taking out Little Jimmy for 1 turn with a slam. Then he ran over here and tried to take out Skittles McPherson, but he ended up dodging out of the way and created a little bit of separation down there. For Vin's last 2 actions, he ended up running Adonis Gold III all the way up 1 step away from picking up the ball. He ended up opting to just burn that action, taking his 5th action to pick it up. He doubled, and he ended up getting that free move to take him over to the 2-point shot down here. Vin ended up having 1 dice to fire from 2-point land. He added in his bonus die and ended up missing with double 2s. The ball scattered over here into the 3-point hex down here. So we'll be back in a second for Rush number 3 for Planet Krumpatron. Hopefully we can get some control of the ball here and then get some control back at this game. So we'll be back in a flash. So we are back for Rush number 3 for Planet Krumpatron. Pretty good turn for us on this one. So we ended up standing up over here with one of our guards. We ended up doing run interference. We ended up just staying in a locked position over there. Down here, I was able to get up, and then I tried to slam Vin, and once again, Vin's Jack's dice been really good. He ended up winning that altercation and pushed me back and took me down to over here. So I burned 2 actions on that. Next, I started cleaning house with Krumpatron. So my first action, I was down here defending this 3-point lane. I ended up pushing up for my first action. My next action, I moved up and I ended up taking out Vin's Striker for 3 turns. And then I had a guard for a free action. Free action card with the guard. So I came over here and I ended up hitting Vin's guard over there, Mr. Simmons, from behind. And what did I get, Vin? It was like
8.
I think, yeah, I had like 8 hits. I just kept rolling 6s and exploding 6s. And I ended up killing Vin. What did I think 5 over, I think is what it was. Yeah, so I ended up killing Vin's guard. Vin actually had decent dice with Adonis Gold the third to save him, but he's still out for 3 turns. So yeah, Crump ended up taking out 2 people pretty good. And then Tito Burrito came off the bench, ended up picking up the ball, so we have control on our end right now. Vin only has 2 guys engaged on the table. So we'll be back in a second for Rush 4 for the Star City Techno Pimps. So we are back for rush number 4 for the Star City Techno Pimps. For this turn, Vin kind of just got some guys positioned, so we ended up bringing in Strong Hands Murphy, the guard, off the bench with 2 actions. He ran him out. He was able to hit my guard in the back and take him out for 1 turn. For another one, Vin ended up pulling out a striker and putting him in position, I guess, for next turn to maybe make a play on something. Vin had a jack over here. He ended up swinging around and getting one place away on a sprint just so we can move into a charge on the rear of my guard right there. I think I ended up winning by 1, so we ended up facing each other. I had pretty good dice with just 2 dice. That's really all Vin had going on right now for rush number 4. So we'll be back in a second for rush number 5 for Planet Krumpatron and see if we can start pushing the ball at the table. A little note right now. Down here, Vin ended up pulling one of the fan support cards that is not well liked, so we got Tito Burrito down here is going to lose 1 die for every dice check that he has to do until the remainder of the game where we pull out another one of those blue cards. So we'll be back in a second for turn 5 for Planet Krumpatron. So we are back for rush number 5. For this turn, I ended up pushing Tito Burrito up from his position down here in the 3-strike hex. With a sprint move to put him up over there, and then I gave him a little bit of help over here with Skittles McPherson kind of helping him out, holding his flank over there. I ended up taking number 10, Sweet Potato Jones, who was positioned over here, to move up and get into Vin's guard, and then I took another action and I moved up Crump Stofferson again to lay the smack down. I ended up getting, what, 5 more, I think, than you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had really good dice again, but then Vin ended up hitting, I think, 4 of his armor saves in a row, which knocked the injury down to just 1 turn. So it was pretty big for Vin. With Crump's second action, I was able to knock down the striker that was right behind the guard, and Vin made all of his armor saves again, so he just down, and I followed up to stay on top of him. So this one's more about just tying Vin up, keeping him occupied while we try to make a push up this side of the table, maybe in rush number 7 or rush number 9. We'll kind of see how things play out. So we'll be back in a second for rush number 6 for the Star City Techno Pimps. We are back for rush number 6, and Vin is making Tito Burrito work for it over here. So Vin ended up taking his jack and just doing a regular slam to my back. Only had 2 dice to dodge. He was enough to knock me down. I think he beat me by 2, and then I had to make my armor save, so I'm just kind of pinned up against the wall here with double threat hexes to stand up. So not a very good position. Vin ended up taking his jack from out of the penalty box, and he ran him up to right here, and then he had a 1-space slam. He was able to knock down my Gobo Jack over there into the wall and kind of pin him up, and he's also able to threaten Tito Burrito over here. Vin then took another striker out of the pot. Who was it, Vin? Boogie Carl. Ran all the way down the pitch, got to about right here, and then Vin did a loop behind with 1 dash to stand on the score marker, tried to go for a steal. I ended up winning the roll-off with one of my bonus dice. I beat him by 1, so not enough to disengage, so we're just kind of turning the face right here. And then Vin ended up pulling the Ego Has Landed out of the event cards. So down over here, we have Sweet Potato Jones is going to have to do something big at the start of the turn. He has to be the first man to go for my rush, for rush number 7. So we'll be back in a second for rush number 7 for Planet Krumpatron. Hopefully we can get Tito Burrito a little bit of help down here. We can maybe make a move for a strike attempt. So we'll be back in a flash. So we are back for rush number 7 for Planet Krumpatron. This one was all about physicality and tripping over your own feet. So we ended up taking Krumpatron, who was laying down on the pitch over there. I mean, who was standing on the pitch over there. I ran him over to here. I went for a dash move. I ended up tripping and falling on my face, and then I burned another action to stand up and hopefully be able to hit him in the back. And that didn't work out. I just got one success. So he's just standing up, threatening that jack right there. With my other actions, like I said, I had to use Sweet Potato Jones first, so I pushed him over here to get a threat hex on the striker that was there with another. So that was like 3 of my action tokens, and then I ended up taking big old number 3 over here. Dr. Krumpenstein was looking for a little bit of revenge after getting injured earlier in the game, so I sprinted him out to about right here, and then with my last action of the turn, I moved up for a slam action, and I ended up injuring Vince Stryker for 3 turns. It was a pretty big deal. But like I said, I'm still sitting here with the ball kind of out in the open, but we'll see how things work out. So we'll be back in a second for rush number 8 for the Star City Techno Pimps. We are back for rush number 8. All the action happened down here. So Vin ended up bringing up one of his guards over here. He ended up sprinting him down the table. He was able to hit Krumpatron in the back and injure him for 1 turn, taking him out. Vin then attempted with his jack to go for the steal, but ended up failing. Down here with his striker, Vin stood up, was able to get the free action, moved down, did 2 dashes into this position, attempted to steal, then failed. And then he attempted another steal after that from the standing position over here, and he was able to get a scatter, force a fumble. I ended up dropping the ball. The ball rolled to Vin. He was able to pick it up, but he wasn't able to double it to get a free action out of it. So he's kind of just sitting here right now. So we'll be back in a second for turn 9 for Planet Krumpatron. We're going to have to just mangle this striker right here, and hopefully something works out. So we'll be back in a flash. So we are back for rush 9 for Planet Krumpatron, and this just is like a freaking train wreck over here in the corner. So what we ended up doing this turn was we tried to take out Vince Stryker is pretty much what ended up happening. So I had to go first over here. So I ended up evading, pushing in, and getting a slam attempt first. Vin evaded it, pushed back. So then I moved with my second action with Sweet Potato Jones, and I swung around the back and went behind the striker who was here, which opened up a slam attempt for Dr. Krumpatron. So I ended up running up. First one, I ended up winning, but I just pushed him back to here. And then the second attempt, I was able to run in and actually lay him out pretty good, but Vin made the armor saves to keep him alive, but he did hit the deck. So he ended up laying there. There was a fumble when the ball hit the pitch. It bounced off of everybody here and ended up falling. Yeah, it ended up falling right there in that hex after bounced off like 4 or 5 different guys. Then my last 2 actions, I had excuse me, I had Tito Burrito, who was on this hex where the ref was right now. He was able to evade, swing around, and dash all the way up to that position with 2 successful dashes to contest the ball and also the striker that's in this hex over here. So that's what ended up happening. And then with my ref roll, I ended up pushing him down here to just kind of make a bigger mess of this than it already is. So we'll be back in a second for rush number 10 for the Star City Techno Pimps. Vin has some options. I don't know where they're going to take them, but we'll be back in a flash to find out. We are back for rush number 10. Finally, somebody's on the board. So for this turn, Vin ended up using his guard and his jack to kind of clear house over there. He was able to injure my orc guard and my gobo, Tito Burrito, both of them for 2 turns, which kind of cleared the way for Vince Stryker to stand up. He was able to move there into this spot right here. Only, in pretty good position with his second action, which was the 4th action of the turn or 5th action of the turn. He was able to swing around the back, evade, pick up the ball. He got 2 successes, which gave him a free action to get him down to here. And Vin had a free throw attempt with a striker or a jack, so he opted to use that so he can have 2 dice to try to score instead of 1. And he ended up getting a 4 and a 1, so he ended up scoring a 2-point shot here in the 10th rush. Puts the Star City Techno Pimps up by 2. Pretty big deal. So we'll be back in a second for rush number 11 to see if Planet Krumpatron can answer the call. We'll be back in a flash. Oh. Oh, it was so close. Rush number 11, Planet Krumpatron. So I had to go first here with Sweet Potato Jones, who was down here. The ball ended up coming out to the middle hex for when it was shot out. So Sweet Potato was here. I evaded, picked it up, doubled. So I got the free move. I was able to move all the way down to here. I attempted to dash, which got me to there. So I had one action left with him. So I decided to just sit on it. For the rest of the turn, I got up my jack over here, and I got a free move out of it. So I pushed him up behind to be in threat hexes for both of these guys from behind. Then with two other actions, I ended up sprinting up right here with Krumpatron to this point, and I went for a slam, to hit Vin. I ended up winning 5-3, but I ended up just pushing him back, so I moved him over there, and then I engaged, and with my last action, oh man, I had one die standing here because it's long distance with the jack. I added in the bonus die that I had from earlier in the game, and I rolled a 1 and a 2. So we dinged it off the rim on a 4-point try. It would have been huge. Ball ended up just trickling out and scattering over here. So we'll be back in a second for turn 12 to see if the Techno Pimps can gain control of the ball and possibly gain control of the game. So we'll be back in a flash. We are back for rush number 12. This could have been really good for Vin, but he ended up tripping over his own feet. So for this turn, the ball was down over there. Vin set it up. He had his striker right here. So he was able to move to the middle of the pitch with 2 evades and get set up for a catch down here. Vin then was able to evade, spin around his jack, and he was able to knock down my Gobo over here and just put him into the boards. He's been on his ass, I think, for like over half this game. He just been
that guy?
Yeah, he just been laying here, just eating it.
Well, you've been here for the entire
game. Yeah, I've totally forgot about him. Yeah, so that was Vin's first 2 actions. With his third action, he ended up running in his striker over there to get to this spot right here. He went for a dash, tripped over his own feet, and fell. Vin was then able to get up with the second action. To get a free move. He was able to pick the ball up, but he wasn't able to get another free action on top of it, so he just stuck sitting there. And with Vin's last action, he took his guard and shot the gap right there and tried to hit me from behind over here with Krumpatron. He ended up winning 5-3, so just enough to push me back, and now we're standing face to face. So we're going to be back for rush number 13. Got to get the rock out of his hand over there. If I'm able to pull that one off, might be able to save the game here. So we'll be back in a second. Rush number 13, Planet Krumpatron. We're back with the Dreadball highlight. I was able to pick up the ball with my last action. I was able to double up and get my move into the hex. I have 1 die. My last rush for Planet Krumpatron.
You gotta dunk that!
So we're looking at Sweet Potato Jones' chance for redemption. 1 die. Here we go. I need a 4-up. Oh, no. Hold on.
The drum continues.
Here we go. 4! We scored! Biscuit in the basket! Biscuits in the basket! We'll be back for Rush 14. Rush 14. Star City Techno Pimps. 1 chance. The game is 1-0. We'll be back in a flash. We are back for rush number 14 for the Star City Techno Pimps. This is going to get interesting. So we're going to go through the turn recap real quick. Vin ended up bringing on a striker over here as an insurance policy. The ball ended up coming out to this hex here, but Vin ended up not needing to do it. So what ended up happening was Vin took his jack, tried to slam this Gobo right here. He ended up winning and just pushing him back with the first action. With his second action, he brought on, like I said, that striker over there. For the third action, Vin was able to evade. He picked up the ball with lucky number 13, Pookie Burgess. He got the free action when he picked it up after he evaded and worked his way into the middle of the pitch. With Vin's fourth action, he tried to win a battle over here versus Krumpatron, and he ended up losing and getting pushed back one. I wasn't enough to knock him down. With the fifth action, Pookie Burgess moved his way up the pitch.
He's gonna dunk that shit.
He's gonna try to dunk it. 2 dice for the game. Vin, where do you want to throw him?
We're gonna throw him right here.
Here we go. 2 dice for the game. Vin needs 1-4. and we're taking it home.
This is for all my fans. Just saying.
So, like, mom. So, here you go, man. Oh, Pookie Burgess! Pookie Burgess, 2-2s. He clanked it. He biffed the dunk. Planet Krumpatron wins. We'll be back in a second for the end of game recap. What a thriller! What a thriller! So we are back for the post-game recap here for our inaugural game of Dreadball with the Star City Techno Pimps falling 1-0 or 3-2, depending on how you're keeping score, to Planet Krumpatron. This game was ridiculous. We have a ton of fun playing Dreadball. This is the first time we actually tried putting up like a battle report or game report, whatever you guys want to call it. It was a lot of fun. And like I said, there's really not too much to go over. It really just came down to Pookie Burgess and those 2-2s that he rolled on the slam dunk attempt. Just biffed it, man. Put the biscuit in the basket. So yeah, that was a rough call here. Pretty fun game. Like I said, there's really nothing to go over here, I guess, for an end of game recap. I guess the MVP for Planet Krumpatron for me, it's going to be a toss-up. I think Crump Stofferson getting that kill and then taking out Vince Stryker for 3 turns early on, and then just, keeping guys occupied physically over here with the slams and just being a threat on this side of the table was pretty huge. But also coming down here, Sweet Potato Jones failed the first long range attempt, but was able to redeem himself. 13th rush, dropping that 3-pointer in there was pretty huge. I think those two would be my MVPs for the game. I don't know, Vin, what were you thinking for Star City Techno Pimps?
My MVP, Pookie.
Pookie Burgess.
In perfect Vin fashion.
Yeah, taking it down to the end. Pookie. He had a chance, man. Had a chance to be the hero. And
Yeah, I think he's the one that got the lead score, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's the one who scored later in the game. So he did put 2 points up on the board to give you that lead. Like I said, fun game. I don't know if you guys want to see some more Dreadball. Like I said, just something fun for us to mix it up. I mean, we've been doing historicals now. It feels like, like 50 weeks straight. So it was kind of nice to just maybe mix something up, throw something else in there. Like we might throw this up, maybe once a month, once every other month. Just kind of depends on what we got going on. We're thinking about doing a league, bringing some more teams in, maybe do like a 4 or 5 team league, and we'll just kind of rotate. So I don't know. Let us know what you guys thought. If you guys enjoyed it, had some fun. If not, also let us know so we don't waste our time with the camera. We can just play on our own. So like I said, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll catch you guys later.